Everything flows because everything is energy. A grid is simply a structure upon which energy and information flows. And our entire world is made up of grid structures. God said, "Let there be light," and it was so, emanating from one source point. As consciousness expanded, the complexity of structure did so as well. But everything we can see, taste, touch, smell, feel with our five senses is still flowing on an underlying pattern, a grid system. And while that grid system continues to express itself in increasing complexity, it is all stemming from the same initial source point. Hello and welcome everyone to my YouTube channel. This is Anahata, the channel of assisting frequencies, known as the Anahata codes, the law of attraction of energy medicine. Every week I pull a code for the collective. This week we dive into the sacred geometry category, which in fact is the underlying structure of all things. It is the grid system upon which energy and information flows. So while this week is specifically for the week of as are all my other videos, they are timeless. And so let's dive into what I consider to be the most important shape in the universe, the torus. It sort of looks like an inverted donut. And if you can imagine the energy flowing up the center panel and around and down again, it becomes a vortex machine, a self-feeding engine, if you will. Now let's take a look at it in action. Now this is the top view, and it's about to go wrap around into the center panel. And this is what it looks like as you're diving through the center panel. And you can see with the lines of the way this energy flows that the top moves in one direction as opposed to the bottom. So it's a polarity, a counter flow, which creates that standing wave vortex in the middle, which literally sets up its self-feeding mechanism with the two opposing forces in opposition. It begins a self-feeding perpetual motion. And everything in our universe follows this flow from the very, very micro to the very, very macro. Our cells, trees, our bodies, the universe, apples, large and small, everything has a toroidal energy flow. And again, this is just the underlying structure of our universe. It is the path of least resistance and optimal flow. The Earth has an electromagnetic energy field that is toroidal. Our hearts have an electromagnetic energy field which is toroidal, as well as the galactic heart. And so there's a few things I want you to notice about this. There's an ascension panel up the center. This is the path of least resistance. And if you follow it upwards, The point of unification lies anatomically at our heart center, with our Earth at the center and with the galaxy at the center. So the center point is key because, again, everything started from a singular point of light, the one photon, and expanded out from there. Because we carry the entire pattern within that one point of light, the point of light is key, and it is the wormhole of unity to everything else in the galaxy, as well as things that are just potential. If you see beyond the grid of those electromagnetic energy fields, what is it? It is limitlessness. It is the void. And so the Torus is a machine to interpret limitlessness, circle it back in and around, and express it out. You are connected to all things through the source point, that point of unification at the center of every molecule, the wormhole, which overlaps with the grid of every other template. We are living fractals, and through our interpretation of the world and our response to our environment, we are co-creating the new. And while many of you understand what the torus is and what sacred geometry is on a functional level, I'd like to bring awareness and newness to the fact that it is all about perspective. The world is either happening to you or through you. And the torus is not just a grid, a static grid. It is the grid upon which all planes of reality exist, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And so I could dive in for hours about each aspect, and I encourage you to do so. And the one thing you want to just think through as you do this on your own is the mechanics of the torus, right? That center point of stillness that is complete balance in the middle. The opposing forces, one going one way, the other going the other, creating that standing wave column, the vortex energy, expanding out and around, creating everything around it spatially, pulling it back in towards itself, digesting it, so to speak, and then birthing it out again. Now, overlay this with emotions, with thoughts, with your spirituality, and with the physical, and you will uncover many universal truths by doing so. My favorite biologist, Bruce Lipton, said, "It is not the environment which activates our dynamic gene expression. It is our response to the environment." Indeed, they have found that the brain of the cell is not in the nucleus, as suspected, but actually lies on the outer perimeter, the membrane, the external edge of the toroidal field. This brings so much wisdom if you think about it. It's interpretation. It is how we view and digest the world as to how we will internalize it, and from that internalization, respond. And in responding, magnetize the raw components of what we will create as creators. So let's go ahead and install today's assisting frequency, which is located in the Sacred Shapes and Symbols category of the Anahata Codes, the Law of Attraction of Energy Medicine. By doing so, we will unlock the totality of the Torus, the entire definition of what it is, which is going to give you access dynamically to a lot, and the wisdom that I have just inspired for you to follow along that gridded path of taking it in, interpreting, choosing your response, and then birthing a reaction that magnetizes your new experiences. It's cyclical. It is the Torus. In fact, this graphic does a really good job of helping you grasp that. And ironically, it is in a toroidal flow. So you have your present reality, your personal reality. And that is rooted in the old self, the past, what you have defined as you, your persona, your reality. And then you have the new future self, where you want to go. And it all comes down to the way you think, the way you act, and the way you feel. The state of being, if it's going to follow your old, same, present, personal reality, or if you're going to branch out into a new self. It depends on your interpretation of your environment. Your response to the environment activates your dynamic gene expression. And in this way, we build a toroidal energy flow on a mental level, on emotional level, and a physical level, what is magnetized to us and what we eventually experience with our 5 senses. Place your left palm up and your right hand on your heart. We ask for, align with, and allow this Anahata code. With gratitude, we activate the assisting frequency for the Torus. 0, 2, 3, 6, 0, 0, 3, 3, 4, 8. 0, 2, 3, 6, 0, 0, 3, 3, 4, 8. 0, 2, 3, 6, 0, 0, 3, 3, 4, 8. 0, 2, 3, 6, 0, 0, 3, 3, 4, 8. 0, 2, 3, 6, 0, 0, 3, 3, 4, 8. 0, 2, 3, 6, 0, 0, 3, 3, 4, 8. 0, 2, 3, 6, 0, 0, 3, 3, 4, 8. Now place both hands on your heart and breathe with gratitude. It is so. One final thought before we end today is that the Torus is a 3D version of the flower of life. You can Google the flower of life to check that out. And so it is the flow of all sustaining energy. It all started with one point, and that point was offset, which was perspective, and offset again into new and new dimensions of complexity through that same source point. And it's a sustaining flow. We are feeding ourselves our own potential. And when we can work with the way energy flows naturally, we can increase our power, not through force, but through flow. Through flow. I hope that this wisdom has brought you some peace, some clarity, some potential and optimism, some limitlessness. And I know the assisting frequency will activate that within this week and all. God bless you on your path to wholeness. When you heal yourself, you heal the world. And through your own consciousness and complexity, you birth new dimensions. Don't forget to subscribe if you want weekly codes delivered to you. And also check the video description for some free tools that I just launched. Bye-bye.